Baseball taking its proverbial break this past week, and the sports stars get glam in Hollywood. Time now for our week in review.
It's funny because I've never been to an ESPYs, keeping that streak alive. About a decade long.
You don't want to break it.
The Kawhi Leonard era this week ending in San Antonio. Where the story continues, though, that was the surprise. He's a Raptor now. What? He became Jurassic this week. Huh? How long his stay will be in Toronto remains to be seen, but San Antonio sent him and Danny Green to the Great White North in exchange for DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a pick. Raptors president Masai Ujiri now on why he blew up the core of what had been the 1 seed in the East.
You can't continue doing the same thing over and over again, and when you get a chance to get a top 5 player, which it doesn't come very often, I think you have to jump on it, and we've given a chance to this team. We've tried to build it as much as we can, but at this point we got to this level where this opportunity came in front of us and we had to jump on it.
Ujiri must be doing something right if you don't recognize the man in the middle. That is Kawhi Leonard, and he's smiling, and that's probably why you don't recognize him. DeMar DeRozan, not smiling. He had 3 years left on his contract, averaged more than 20 points for 5 straight seasons, and his boss had apparently insinuated that he wouldn't be traded. At least DeRozan thought so. Now he's a Spur. Ujiri apologized yesterday for what he called a miscommunication with his now former star. DeRozan would post that emoji on his Instagram story. NBA offseason kept giving another Woj bomb this week. And Carmelo Anthony heading to the Hawks. Where he goes from there is the real question. Atlanta expected to waive Melo, freeing him up to be a free agent. Melo's expiring $27.9 million contract, more attractive than Melo himself. The Thunder getting Dennis Schroeder, Mike Muscala in return.
Washington, D.C. playing host to some of the friendliest dueling you'll see in a city known for discord. That, of course, being the MLB All-Star festivities. Argue, if you will, about the Midsummer Classic not actually being in midsummer, but you cannot debate this one was a classic. Talk about a storybook script in what could be Bryce Harper's last season in D.C. The National Slugger delivered. With 50 seconds left in the final round, Harper crushed 9 home runs to pull even with Kyle Schwarber before going yard in his first pitch during extra time. The guy throwing BP to him, that was Harper's dad, looking like a Marvel character. And speaking of Marvel characters, Randy Scott.
So tight.
You love Bryce Harper so much.
You spend time around Cubs fans. I don't know if you are a Cubs fan yourself.
You know that I'm a Cubs fan.
They insinuated that Bryce Harper cheated to beat Kyle Schwarber because his dad didn't wait for the home runs to land, which is the rule.
I saw that assertion.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're Bryce, you can't hear it over all the cheering.
Right.
Or
all the hair.
And champion's headband. This thing cuts off the lack of blood flow to the ears as well. This is not good.
If you're not getting the blood flow to the brain,
it's so tight. Oh,
are you sure that you're able to qualify as a champion?
Nailed it.
The mashing actually continued on Tuesday in the 89th annual All-Star Game. 10 home runs, 5 by each league, delivering the AL an 8-6 victory over the NL. You going to be okay over there?
This hurts so bad.
This one, an extra innings affair. Alex Bregman earning MVP honors. He had the go-ahead dinger in the top of the 10th.
I think I still have an indentation on my forehead. Non-national anthem-related NFL news. Oh, say can you see, by the deadline's looming light, Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers could not get a deal done. Okay, he'll play this season under the $14.5 million franchise tag. Speaking of no new deals, Julio Jones wanted an extension with the Falcons. He won't get one. Adam Schefter reporting this week, Atlanta will not give its star receiver an extension this season, but could open up negotiations perhaps to modify the deal through incentives. And Andrew Luck is good to go. Colts quarterback will throw actual NFL-sized footballs at training camp. He just won't be expected to throw 7 days a week as he still recovers from shoulder surgery.
On Wednesday, I was just thinking about Andrew Luck throwing actual-sized footballs.
It was important.
On Wednesday night, sports stars and celebrities took to Tinseltown for the 2018 ESPYs. That event never disappoints on delivering moments. This year, more than 140 Larry Nassar sexual abuse survivors received the Arthur Ashe Courage Award, while NFL great Jim Kelly received the Jimmy V Award for perseverance.
I came up with a saying, make a difference today for someone who is fighting for their tomorrow. So I just urge anybody out there, if you have somebody out there suffering, what you say to them, the smile that you have on your face, that can be the difference in them making it the next day.
Too often, abusers and enablers perpetuate suffering by making survivors feel that their truth doesn't matter. We may suffer alone, but we survive together. Thank you.
Now, whether you saw that on the broadcast or you saw it on social media as the images were disseminated the next day, it was a powerful moment. It was startling that that many women were on stage and that it was not even half of those that accused him.
Of the ones that we know of, exactly. It could be more than that. Speaking of the ESPYs now, one name you might hear as the nominee for Best Performance at next year's ESPYs, Liz Cambage, the WNBA's Dallas Wings, put on an absolute clinic on Tuesday against the Liberty. She had 53 points, video game numbers, including 4 or 5 from distance. You see one of them there. Then after another 23 points on Friday night, her total over a 4-game span, 134 points, third highest over a 4-game span for any player in league history. Maya Moore owns the top 2 spots, 139 and 135, respectively. Little history for Courtney Vandersloot as well. Sky over the Wings last night. That's not the story. It's Vandersloot putting up the 7th triple-double in WNBA history, first in Chicago history. Her 15 assists, just one shy of matching the WNBA record. Enough of the semi-serious stuff. Let's get to an NBA All-Star living his best life this offseason.
Yeah, we're all just children masquerading as adults, and Andre Drummond out here living my dreams as a contestant on Double Dare. The Pistons All-Star was battling snowboarder Chloe Kim. He made it to the obstacle course where he got to run through a pool of Jell-O and then climb up Mount St. Double Dare. Drummond said, "I watched the show as a kid. To be out here, to be a part of it, it's huge." Which is literally how I would feel if I got the opportunity to participate in Double Dare. I want to pick that nose.
It was gone for so long. I'm so happy it's back so that we can explain to the next generation, like our kids, be like,
my son
this is what it
watches
was.
It all the time.
Picking noses, that's what happened. And we have many more sports stars going through that obstacle course. Oh, Lord.
I'm your favorite player.
This is the problem.
Whoops.
Championship.
Oh boy. It's going to be fun.
We talk a lot about chemistry. Chemistry is important on a sports team. Well, the Lakers seemingly have combined plutonium, hydrogen, maybe some neon. How about a fun-loving element on the periodic table like helium? It's all the makings here.
I'm not a chemist, but it sounds explosive, potentially, yes.
Could be.
Maybe it's some sort of genius gumbo of talent. I don't know. That remains to be seen. But here is a fun reminder of some of the memorable moments from LeBron's new teammates. Oh, there we go. Michael Beasley. Just listen in.
We are only capable of using 10% of our brain. So who was the guy that used 11 that made it okay to say everybody's just using 10?
Well,
Only using 10% of something, that means you don't know the rest of the 90.
I mean, who hasn't wondered that on multiple occasions? And, you know, here's some moments on the floor. 32 points against the Celtics. And listen to the answer to this question.
When did you start feeling it then?
Feeling like what?
Feeling the hot hand. It was like, you started going at 6th grade.
January 9th, 1989.
When did I start feeling the hot hand? The day I was born. But yeah, he and LeBron already have a handshake, so I think they're off to a good start.
I'm wondering what percentage of brain JaVale McGee uses at times. Here he is, goes up and kind of changes his mind. JaVale gets involved in some goofy situations, but he is a 2-time NBA champ. He's got a couple rings, so Mr. McGee has that going for him. Another one of LeBron's new teammates.
Oh, well, then, of course, Lance Stevenson, Hornets and Pacers this season. Look at Stevenson tracking down Dwight Howard. And a great meme face there afterwards. Yeah, ooh, look. But, of course, this is the iconic blowing in the ear of LeBron James, 2014, Pacers. That will just live on forever. So no wonder, right? The internet is dubbing them the meme team. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And there were many interesting fellas not even pictured there in that little montage. Quite a disparity on paper with the 5 new Lakers. So LeBron, of course, signed for 4 years, just over $153 million. Other 4 signings, you get the same amount of years for $134 million less. You know, maybe it makes sense. LeBron scored more points last season than the other 4 combined. It'll be fast.
John, but you got Linda Cohen. How about Michael Beasley?
How about him?
He has reached an agreement with the Lakers.
Who
sources tell ESPN $3.5 million. LeBron's a fan of Beasley's game. He's 29, coming off a pretty good bounce back year with the Knicks.
Yes.
He's a pretty good three-point shooter. Last 2 seasons, right around 40%. He actually probably doesn't shoot enough. I mean, 40% is an excellent number. So, again, LeBron's got all kinds of crazy teammates now. All kinds of personality and interesting stories. Beasley, remember his interview last year talking about the human brain.
We are only capable of using 10% of our brain. So who was the guy that used 11 that made it okay to say everybody's just using 10? Only using 10% of something, that means you don't know the rest of the 90.
Taylor Rooks sent him. She set him straight.
Yeah. Did she answer him?
Yeah, she put him in his place.
Okay.
Beasley, remember against the Celtics, 32 points. And here's what he said. It felt like having the hot hand.
When you start feeling it then?
Feeling like what?
Feeling the hot hand. Kind of like you started going at 6th grade.
January 9th, 1989.
That's a good answer. That's his birthday. And then here he is with...
my son Dean's birthday, January 9th.
You.
Not 1989.
No, here he is with LeBron there in a
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. All right. JaVale McGee, he's also a fun guy. He does all kinds of...
He does
gets
that a lot.
rejected by the rim, even though he's really tall.
Yep.
LeBron, come on, man. Oh, JaVale.
Get ready, LeBron.
Yep. It's a lot of personality going on here. But hey, he's a 2-time NBA champion.
Of course, went along
Lance in his basketball pants. I mean, he's got a whole reel.
He blows kisses.
Yep, he does that. He'll block a shot and then pose to the crowd while the guy behind him is dunking, but he doesn't care.
No, why would he?
It's usually about Lance.
Here we see you.
See him there. And of course,
there it is.
One of the, top 5 moments of video in the history of the NBA. That's iconic.
It is.
Now they're on the same team. McGee,
yes.
Beasley. There it is. This, to me, is like TLC, Crazy, Sexy, Cool album back in the day. You know,
Oh. I was trying to think of some hits from that. Anyway, continue.
I'll go Chasing Waterfalls.
Oh, that's classic.
No Scrubs. I don't want no Scrubs.
Yeah, No Scrubs was great.
Look at that. Look who's in Canada.
Finally.
Kawhi Leonard.
Is that a smile?
I think so.
Okay.
Welcome to the North.
Sure.
Raptors Twitter feed. So he's there, and he looks pretty happy. Toronto's an amazing city.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you like playing in Toronto?
I don't know.
Awesome city.
Just get a passport.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine, and they might win the East.
Why not?
Pretty harder about LA's newest leading man.
What was your immediate reaction when you heard the news was official that LeBron was a Laker?
I called my accountant. I said, we still got our tickets, right? I didn't sell them the season tickets tonight. Of all years, not this year. Make sure they come. I think it's a great thing for this town. It's a basketball town, and I came up through the Magic era, and in fact, Robert Townsend and I bought season seats. There was a game where Kevin McHale clotheslined Kurt Rambis.
Watch it. Cooper and the Celtics, and now the bench is empty.
And we signed up that night and got season tickets. I've had season tickets ever since.
What's the most exciting part about LeBron being a Laker now for you?
The unknown. Yeah, the sky's the possibility. I'm going to be sitting here, and he'll be that close, running by and dunking. He was one of the first guys I remember. I was sitting at a game, and I'm like, I can see the bottom of his sneakers. He's so high up in the air. I can read the bottom of his sneakers. Now we all get to be witnesses.
Lakers added another veteran to join James. LA signed Michael Beasley to a 1-year deal for $3.5 million. Lakers will be his 7th NBA team. Played with James on the Heat during the 2013-2014 season. He averaged 13.6 rebounds with the Knicks last season. 29 now. Remember, he was the number 2 overall pick back in 2008. The Lakers ranked 29th in the NBA in three-point shooting last season at 35%. The players they've picked up shot it even worse last season, combining to shoot 32% from distance. But GM Rob Pelinka wanted playmakers, and he could be onto something. According to Second Spectrum, Cavaliers outside of James shot 39% out of ISO situations last season. The Lakers shot 45%, second in the NBA behind Golden State. LA's new additions, right there at 44%.